Good morning.
Day 10.
It was really scary last night, so we camped by a road. Okay, it was supposed to be a state forest road or something, so we didn't expect anyone to drive by. Then at 10:20 at night, a big truck comes barreling through right next to us, and the headlights light up our tent, and we're like deep asleep at that point. So we wake up, we're like, "Oh, what is going on?"
It was so scary.
It was very scary.
It was so scary because our tent site's right by the road. So it felt like we were going to get run over.
Yeah.
We weren't,
Yeah.
but it felt like it.
And then I think last night when I was gathering firewood, I think I got hit by some like stinging nettles or something. There's like sharp plants.
Yeah. So his knees irritated.
Yes.
Yes. Day 10.
Day 10.
So we woke up this morning and the high is supposed to be, I think, 56 or 58.
Yeah.
It's pretty chilly.
Well, also too, it was supposed to rain all night, and I think we only got like a small shower.
Yeah.
Like Brianna left her cup out, and it didn't even fill up.
No, it had
Not in
like
the
2
bottom.
little drops on it.
Yeah. So far the weather forecasts have been terrible, but it does kind of feel like rain today. So
And
we're
it's
gonna
cold.
Try to get going.
Yeah.
It's 10:27 right now, and we're just moving.
Yeah. It was hard moving this morning because you could tell it was cold.
Brianna wasn't quite ready for the cold, so she's wearing one of my shirts and what she was supposed to be sleeping in, her bottom layer. So she looks a little funny, different than normal.
But at least this way I'm warm because my tank top's way too cold for the weather right now. And this will work. Luckily Kevin had an extra shirt.
Yeah.
We've warmed up quite a bit. We're happy we have these base layers, and I'm happy to have Kevin's extra shirt. But so far, it's not too cold, especially when we're hiking. So we're planning on hiking to the next shelter and getting lunch there, and then continuing on to a stealth site or to Priest Shelter. We'll probably stay at the campsite though.
So it looks like it's supposed to rain, but we've been only getting like a mist.
Yeah.
So hopefully it just holds off for a while.
We're at the top of something, not sure what, but it's kind of cool because there's all of these giant boulders hanging around. I know we see a lot of boulders, but I still think they're always really neat, especially when we don't have to climb up them. Yeah, we're going around for once. Don't be fooled, there are a lot of rocks on the trail, but not as many as it seemed to be in Georgia and North Carolina. Because if we were in Georgia, we'd have to go up that. But yeah, there's still plenty of rocks that we have to meander around. I got this fungus.
Big ears.
It's huge, yeah. There's more over here.
These look like giant ears.
They can hear you. We're here by the water. The hills have ears.
No.
So we just got done with a nice lunch break at Sealy Woodworth Shelter. There were 2 guys in there we were talking to. One guy was a teacher and the other guy was a principal of the school that the teacher was at. So they were out section hiking. So
They do it every year.
they do it every year. They pick up where they left off. And so they go for like 3 to 5 days and just out hiking. So we might see them a little later on today, depending on where we stop and they stop. But it was really nice to talk to some fellow hikers for lunch, because really we haven't seen that many people out here. It's been pretty barren. So that was really a good lunch. We are climbing up to Spy Rock. We're almost to the top. Look at how pretty. So beautiful. So pretty. Spy Rock! We made it to the top of Spy Rock, even though it is misting and quite cloudy. Still a pretty cool view. And there's little tadpoles in here. They're swimming around.
Yeah, Spy Rock, matey.
So we just hiked to how far we can on Spy Rock.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I think these little divots here, like this one and this one,
And over there.
are from lightning because they're all over this barren rock face here. And it's storming, so
It's just raining.
we're not going to spend too much time up here. As you can see, the weather is beautiful. Beautiful.
It could be worse.
Could be. It could be much better, like 2 days ago.
Yeah. We had to bust out our ponchos. It's been raining on and off this morning, but it just started to get a little heavier.
Yeah, it's always tough because it's a trade-off. Because the poncho makes you warmer, so you kind of sweat, and then that kind of gets your stuff wet. But then also the rain will get your stuff wet, so you have to make a, educated decision about when to throw the poncho on.
It is a tough thing, and then you get to look like a hunchback.
Yes. What's under my poncho?
He looks like Quasimodo. Can you say, or give us a little Igor impression?
Yeah. Master. My plans.
We're entering the priest wilderness.
Father, forgive me.
So it is said on the priest that when you get to the top, you confess your secrets or your sins. Yeah, your trail sins. So you got to tell it to the priest. We are hiking up the priest, and if you look over here, there's 3 ridges there. Can't really see too well, but they're there. That's where we'll be hiking up tomorrow. After, of course, we summit the priest. You smile.
That's what I was explaining to him. I'm like, sometimes
So this is
it's like,
Walter.
the return on investment isn't always there, So it's like, yeah, that's funny.
We're all cozy in our tent.
Yeah, it's still raining. It's a little cold too on top of the mountain. We're not quite to the top,
No, we have 0.3 to go.
but we're getting close. So we ended up staying at the priest shelter, and we met a lot of cool people.
Yeah, it was booming here. Everyone seemed to stop here. There were a couple weekend hikers there, a couple who is through hiking. They just started in Daleville. So they didn't start that long ago, but they're through hiking, and then I think that's it. The guys that we met at lunch, the teacher and the principal, they were here too. So we had a lot of fun talking to everyone and eating dinner and trying to get warm, because it is kind of rainy and cold for it being the middle of June.
Yeah, and I did something dumb. I lost the AWOL Guidebook. I know.
We think we left it at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
But see, we recently readjusted our bags, our packs, so we switched it. So instead of me carrying it, Kevin's carrying it. So I think that we just kind of forgot and left it somewhere. Oh well.
Oh well, end of day 10.
End of day 10. Day 11. We are just leaving the shelter. It's still chilly.
Yeah.
It was very cold last night. I couldn't get warm.
I just read some of the confessions of the hikers. Ooh.
Yeah.
Juicy.
So, the trail log in the shelter is where the hikers put their most severe trail transgressions. And so we were reading through those. We're on the top of the Priest Mountain.
Yeah. This is pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's all these rocks around that we can walk on and see the view. And for as chilly and kind of damp it is out here, we have a pretty awesome view.
Can you wave?
Oh, are we filming? We're climbing down the Priest, and we came across this overlook. You can see all the farmland. Still hiking down the Priest. I think we have about 1 mile to go, a little less. And we're gonna take a little break at the bottom. Apparently there's a river down there, Ty River. And we're thinking that this stream probably flows down to it. We just exited the Priest Wilderness. We're coming to a parking lot where Kevin and I are gonna take a break, make some coffee, and then continue on. We're on this fun little suspension bridge over the Ty River. It's very bouncy. We are in Three Ridges Wilderness. We're hoping to actually camp on top of Three Ridges tonight. We're gonna take a little break at Harper's Creek Shelter here in less than a mile and then continue on up. And we actually get to see Chives and Liberty tomorrow. So we're gonna meet them at Reed Gap, and they have a whole picnic planned for us, beers and sangrias, and he also got our next resupply for us, so that was nice. And we will certainly film that as well. And for those of you who have thought that this section isn't rocky enough compared to our first section of the AT, I assure you, it's plenty rocky. We are coming across many of these boulder fields. We're on top of this giant rock.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, it's misting and windy and kind of cold, but it is kind of cool.
So we had to carry more water up these darn mountains.
Yeah, there's no water up here, so we had to camel up once again. We're carrying a lot of extra weight for water.
And just before anyone says it, just because it's raining doesn't mean we have water.
Okay. And we just found all of these little, they look like the succulents that Kevin and I have, that they're really cool. They're just on the side of the mountain. And then there's these white spiky flowers.
They kind of look like the, you know, in Mario 64, in the desert levels,
Oh,
big giant cactus guys.
yeah,
Kind of look like that.
they do. Yeah. We're going up. We're in between the first and second ridge. The weather's really bad. Well, it could be worse. It's raining and it's windy. So we're hoping to find a campsite here soonish to hunker down in. We don't really want to go much higher with the way the weather is today, but we'll see what happens. I believe we made it to the peak of Three Ridges, like the highest peak. It's really spooky up here. Yeah, ooh, that was a tough climb.
That really was.
Yeah, it was extra tough because of the weather.
Yeah, I think we might end up camping up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looks like there's plenty of spots.
Yeah, we'll see what we can find. It might be a little windy, but we'll see.
So it's been raining since 8 p.m.
It's 5:15 in the morning.
It's not letting up.
It has been pouring buckets since 8 p.m. I've never heard it rain this hard for this long. We're not going to want to get out of the tent.